I would like to personally invite you to my vampire lair as we judge autumnal aesthetics together. I made like a style aesthetics tier ranking video maybe a year ago. It was one of my first like style focused videos here on YouTube, and I've wanted to make another one ever since, but I just haven't gotten around to it. And this time around, I wanted to do one, but for autumn. So I am only judging like different styles that people would wear during autumn. So let me introduce you guys to the different tiers. I was trying to be a little silly, goofy guy and come up with some like autumn puns for the names of them. I don't know if it worked out. Top tier, the highest tier, is just bleh, autumn. It's just an explosion of autumn emojis and exclamation points. Right under that, we have, I'd pick that apple. I like it a lot. Right in the middle, we have If the Gentle Wind Beckons Me Through the Leaves, which, if you don't know, is based off of a lyric from Over the Garden Wall. And I was like, I wanted something that was like, depends on the day. If the wind beckons me, sure. If not, I'm good. Almost at the bottom, but not quite, is Not My Cup of Pumpkin Spice Latte. It's just not for me, but I don't like hate it. I just like personally wouldn't wear it. And then right at the bottom, we have Jump Scare. And those are our tiers. Let's jump into the first aesthetic. So the first aesthetic is like 90s hippie mom. Also, a lot of these aesthetics, like I don't have a name for them necessarily. They're just like vibes. 90s hippie mom, early 2000s hippie mom. I'm thinking kind of like Practical Magic style. Phoebe Buffay became a big inspo. It's very thrifty, honestly. It looks like a lot of these outfits were thrifted and not mismatched, but like different patterns, different textures. I also wanted to throw in some like scenery photos. Some of these aesthetics have such a time and place vibe as well. It's not just specifically the clothes. This style is like so nostalgic to me because I grew up with a 90s kind of hippie mom. Like I can just smell the natural food co-op, you know? It's a lot of like baggier clothes, nothing is really tight fitting. It's a lot of really long skirts and dresses, boots, long hair, long necklaces, sometimes slightly witchy. This is kind of a hard one to rank. I actually do really like this style, but as of right now, it's not like my top style, I wouldn't say. I'm gonna put it in, I'd pick that apple. All right, the next style is English countryside, but during autumn. This style is really defined by a good pair of rain boots, or wellies, as I think they call them, wellies, and a chunky knit sweater. I love me a chunky sweater. This style is really epitomized by this particular photo of Princess Diana and some guy. Her rain boots, her knit sweater, the trousers, the like 80s hair. I love it. And yeah, and then it's just like the rolling hills of the English countryside. I've been on the hunt for some hunter rain boots. I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Yeah, I have been looking for a pair of like dark green hunter rain boots. Who isn't though? Like, who's not looking for those? I definitely have a decent sweater collection, but I really would like to get a chunkier one, preferably in like a navy blue or even like a cream color, something kind of neutral that I can pair with a lot of other things. I also love this type of knit. I just think sweaters like this are such a wardrobe staple and they never go out of style. You can wear this for the rest of your life. I also really love the look of all the layering, the long skirts with the rain boots, shirts and sweaters and scarves and big coat over all of that is obviously just necessary for cold weather, but it also just looks effortlessly stylish, you know? This is why I love the Burr months and I love layering. I feel like layering is just so innate to like my personal style and how I like to express myself through fashion. Okay, so where do we rank this? I think it's gotta go in the top. Honestly, this is really how I want to dress a majority of the time during autumn months. Okay, this next aesthetic. I thought I was gonna like a lot more than I did when I started looking up images. And that is Gossip Girl Autumn. Gosh, I don't want to offend anyone who really likes the Gossip Girl style, but like kind of cheesy some of these outfits are. I just had like a different image in my head or something. I was like, oh, it's probably a lot of like kind of dark academia vibes. But like some of these outfits are not giving in the way that I want them to give. I was surprised by the amount of colorful tights. It's almost like twee influenced the Gossip Girl style. I guess I was just hoping for a bit more private school dark academia, and instead it's kind of giving twee high school costumes. Like some of it just looks so costumey. Like they're very, very styled by someone. And I know these are like rich kids, so they can buy all this designer stuff and like dress themselves however they want. So like it's not like normal high school kids, but still there's something about it that just feels too curated by a TV show. Some of the looks are cute. I really like this look on Blair, I think it is. I love the little capelet. I really like these tights, but I do think these styled correctly, kind of like she did here, can look really cute. I think Gossip Girl is not my cup of PSL. I thought it would be, but I guess I created a different expectation in my brain. All right, moving on to the next aesthetic, Wednesday Addams core. Goth, witchy, vampy, but also like kind of academia, almost a little mod. I feel like when people replicate a Wednesday Addams look, it's just a black dress with a white collar and the two braids. It's like the go-to Halloween costume when you have nothing else to wear. I've done it. Look. I'll probably do it again at some point. But is this like a style I would wear outside of Halloween? Let's take a look. So obviously we have some pictures from like the show. Some of these are really cute. Obviously it looks like a school uniform, so like I wouldn't exactly wear that. But I did find some like fashion versions of Wednesday Addams style that I really like. Some of these inspiration photos lean a little bit cutesy, almost into that like Lolita genre of fashion, which I'm not really into. Some of them lean a little bit more like Victorian goth inspired. I really like that. I love a Victorian inspired moment. I also really like the couple outfit inspo pics that I pulled that are more masculine leaning. They're like pants and a blazer instead of like a baby doll dress. I feel like that's definitely something that I would personally wear. So where to rank you? I think I'm gonna put this one smack in the middle. If the gentle wind beckons me through the leaves, because some of these inspo pics, I'm like, I would for sure wear that. And then some of them, I'm like, definitely not for me. This next category is a little bit similar to English countryside. There's actually a few categories in here that are like similar to each other, but it's fine. This is coastal autumn fisherman style. So we still have a lot of like rain boots and chunky knit sweaters and things like that, but I did find some really great men's outfits. Fashion doesn't have a gender, we know this, but outfits that men are wearing in the photos. But I really liked a lot of these masculine styles. It's so simple. A lot of these pieces are just like basics, like a basic sweater, blue jeans, or like work cargo pants. But they all look like really good quality. Like they're all probably expensive, but then they last you a lifetime, you know? I also feel like the coastal autumnal vibes here lean into a bit of like a Wes Anderson aesthetic, and that's something that like the English countryside aesthetic doesn't really do. I'm also seeing a lot more Birkenstocks with this style. I like the use of hats and like scarves and everything. Because this is like a coastal aesthetic, it's probably windy. So you need to get a hold of that hair because otherwise it's just gonna go everywhere and become a bunch of knots. I have lived this experience many times. But yeah, a lot of really similar vibes to the English countryside, just with like a little bit of a nautical twist. You might assume that I will also put this in the top rank tier, but I'm not going to. I'm not a beach person. I think putting this in the top tier would imply that I like going to the beach and I like hanging out at the ocean a lot, and that's not really the case. So I'm definitely more of a countryside person than like a beach person. I'm gonna put this in I'd Pick That Apple because it is so similar to English countryside and I really love that style. Okay, this next category, I had a hard time finding inspiration pictures. I knew what it was in my head. I couldn't figure out how to phrase it so that Google and Pinterest would like present me with what I wanted. It's like grandma core, but like very kitschy, like plaid, apple pie, autumnal country store vibes. Does that make sense? You know when you go apple picking and then they have like their little country store at the apple orchard, like kind of like that, but like if that was a fashion that a grandmother would wear. Particularly these sweaters. These like patterned knit sweaters are exactly what I was picturing. This one with like the teddy bears. We have one with like some florals. I also saved a bunch of like home decor pictures because it is really an all-encompassing style. And I feel like that was gonna help me explain this aesthetic. I really like these like quilt patchwork overalls. This like denim dress look with the cardigan. This is exactly what I meant. This is the style. I just don't know how to explain it though. It is grandma core, but I feel like it's a particular type of grandma core. Now, while this style is very comforting in a way, it like warms my heart to see it. I just don't think it's gonna be ranked that high because, you know, I'm ranking these based off of like, would I wear this? Because otherwise I don't care about different styles. Like, unless it's offensive to other people, wear what you want. So like, I really can't rank things unless I'm judging it based off of like, would I wear this? Me personally. And me personally, this one, not so much. So I'm gonna put it in Not My Cup of PSL. All right, I think this next one is gonna be a fan favorite. I know so many people love this style, and it's like the 90s rom-com, Meg Ryan, she's the queen of this style. So like Meg Ryan core, we can call it, honestly. She had so many good looks in her movies. I think my favorite look of Meg Ryan's is this one with like the blazer and the chunky sweater underneath and just like the glasses and her hair. I did also save quite a few inspiration pictures of Lorelai and Rory from Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls is obviously like an autumnal fan favorite. Everyone rewatches it this time of year. And I feel like a lot of people really love Lorelai's looks, but I find myself gravitating slightly more to Rory's looks. One of my favorite looks of hers is in season 1, she's wearing like this red top, a black skirt, some black tights, and her Doc Martens. It's just like such a simple look, but I don't know, I just really love it. I would absolutely wear that. All right, so where do I rank this? Some of these styles are like so quintessential autumn in New York, autumn in New England, and I love them. However, some of the looks just feel a little bit dated in a way that is not super appealing to me. Because I love a dated look. Honestly, the more dated, the better. Oh, you want me to wear medieval looking garb? Done. No need to twist my arm. You want me to look like a 15th century witch? No problem. But something from like 20 to 30 years ago, maybe it's like not dated enough or something. And that's just not my personal cup of tea. So I'm gonna put it in the middle, right in the middle. All right, we're in the home stretch. This next one is so nostalgic. So this one is kind of, I guess we could call it Twilight core, honestly, but also just mid to late 2000s alternative mall rat style. This style is like so nostalgic to me, but also like just reminds me of being a youth and all the like turmoil that comes with being a youth. These frickin' Hollister tops. I kind of want one, honestly. Everyone wore these. The low-rise dark wash jeans with those chunky pockets on the back. Sometimes they were like bejeweled. Oh my god, the Uggs. I never had a pair of Uggs. I was never into them. Also, more than that, they look like a slipper. I don't want to wear that outside. I don't know, it just seems like gross to me. But yeah, everyone loved the Uggs. No, I can't really see this whole outfit that well because the photo is from behind, but I really like this color palette. This is something I would wear. Maybe not those exact jeans. I've been in a like no tight pants phase for a while, but maybe we'll give it a shot. But overall, I would say that this look is dated and it's very high school. And I also feel like just so many of the clothes are so tight and like little trigger warning, I guess. Like this was also the peak of like Tumblr ED core, just internet ED culture. And that's why sometimes when I see this stuff, I'm just like, it's so nostalgic, and that's like the good and the bad. Because it just takes me back to a time when you were very young and impressionable. So this one also goes into not my cup of PSL, because I really just wouldn't wear a lot of that anymore, but I love it for the nostalgia. It's time to watch Twilight again, honestly. This has really inspired me. Okay, we've arrived at a creepier aesthetic. This is Southern Gothic, or more specifically like Ethel Cain core. Now you hear Gothic, you think, oh, they wear all black. Wrong. A lot of it is like white prairie dresses, but it's like creepy. Obviously, I'll be showing you guys pictures. You'll understand if you don't know what I'm talking about. Now, Ethel Cain is the queen of this aesthetic. And I do feel like it's one of those aesthetics that's very much all-encompassing. Like, yes, there's a heavy fashion style component, but there's so much about like the location, it being in the South. There's kind of these like creepy religious components to it. And also like, I don't know if this is problematic for the aesthetic or not, but like kind of some class components, especially within Ethel Cain's universe. She portrays a lot of like trailer park living and lower income settings, it looks like, in a lot of her imagery. So that's like an interesting detail. It's interesting how you can really like an aesthetic, and part of you liking it is that it almost makes you a bit uncomfortable. A lot of these reference photos are very creepy, but I like that they're creepy. I don't know why. I think it's because it feels like there's a story to be told. Like, a lot of these look like they belong in a movie, and I'm like, I want to watch the movie. I want to know the story. Like, why is it so creepy here? And why are you wearing that fabulous dress in the middle of a field next to an abandoned church? Yeah, this aesthetic is so unsettling, but I really like it. I'm not entirely sure where to rank it though, because while I would totally wear this aesthetic, I don't think I would wear it that often. It's between I'd pick that apple and If the Gentle Wind Beckons. I think I'm gonna put it in the middle. Yeah. So this next one is Beatnik. Now, when I see photos of like actual Beatnik culture from that era, it's a little bit boring. I don't know, people are just wearing normal clothes. Like, there's really not that much to it. Sometimes you get like a cool little suit moment. Overall, underwhelmed, I guess. But if we look at photos from the movie Kill Your Darlings, which stars Daniel Radcliffe as Allen Ginsberg, who was a figure in the Beatnik era, that's when I'm like, oh, I don't know, there's something about the costumes that I like so much more. I think they're definitely a lot more dark academia leaning than the photos of actual Beatniks that I found. I particularly like this outfit with the chunky wool sweater, a plaid scarf, looks like a wool blazer, and then the glasses. I would 1000% wear that. I also like this little sweater vest moment. I have a couple sweater vests, but I really want to replace them with some better ones. I feel like people used to think sweater vests were like ugly or something. All right, but where do I put this? Like, I feel like the right thing to do is to rank it off of the actual Beatniks and what they were wearing as opposed to the movie version. The real version, I think just not my cup. I only have one thing in the top tier. That's because I don't have Dark Academia on here. If I had Dark Academia or Medieval Core or any of my tried and true, they would just all be at the top. But I wanted to like do some different stuff, you know? Okay, so we have a couple of real special ones left to do. They're a little similar, but a little different. So this next one is Clean Girl Autumn. We all know what a clean girl is. It's like a lot of whites and beiges and perfect hair and skin. Going to Pilates, getting your matcha. I don't know. That's my impression of clean girl aesthetic. So Clean Girl Autumn is a lot of white beige sweaters, light wash blue jeans, sometimes a gray moment. Everything has to just be like neutrals. There's no bright colors. And usually not even like black. We see a lot of Uggs, interestingly, but like the new style of Uggs, like a platform Ugg. We also see occasionally that headband look. No offense. If you love the headband, keep rocking that headband. I really don't like it. The thick headband. I don't know if it's like an exercise thing, a Pilates thing. I just don't like how it looks. And also there's a lot of like posing with coffees or matchas. It's like part of the outfit. So I don't hate this. Like there's a lot of elements of it that I like. I love all the sweaters. And, you know, occasionally I like a light wash jean. I feel like it's a classic. But now your whole outfit is just basic pieces and there's no personality. Like all of these look the same. I think it looks very appealing because it is very like clean and cozy, but I think for me it just lacks a bit of originality and a bit of like personality. So I'm gonna put it in not my cup. Not my cup of matcha. And now we've arrived at the final aesthetic. I already know where this one's going. You guys can probably guess because there is one tier empty. We haven't filled it yet. What's gonna go there? Now, disclaimer on this aesthetic. I know the internet calls it Christian Girl Autumn. I don't think it has anything to do with being Christian. Don't take offense if you're Christian. So this aesthetic is very early 2010s, like early to mid 2010s. And it looks very dated to me personally, but some people still wear it. I don't know. They just really like it. This is the epitome of unoriginality to me. Everyone looks the same. And I've seen this picture in particular circulate the internet so much because it's just like a great example of how void of personality this aesthetic is. Why do you all have the same boots and the same hair? These women are keeping the suede knee-high over-the-knee boot industry in business. They just love their knee-high suede boots. Also the wide brim hats. I think the biggest thing that bothers me about this aesthetic personally, because I'm like, just let these women be. Let them do whatever they want. It's like, who are they harming? But I will say there's so much consumerism and product placement in a lot of this aesthetic. And in that way, it's like not the greatest for the environment. It just kind of persuades people to like keep up with the Kardashians, so to speak, and also like promote these massive companies like a Starbucks and then all the fast fashion, you know? Obviously, all of these girls went out and bought the same exact outfit. They didn't just like so happen to slowly curate a wardrobe that all just so happened to look the same. Oh my god. So yeah, that's my biggest gripe with this aesthetic, is that it just feels so commercialized and like it's promoting heavy consumerism. And also just sameness and conformity. Well, I'm sure you can guess where we're gonna put this one. Plot twist. This one goes in jump scare. Because let's be honest, some of that bronzer is like very heavy-handed and frightening. All right, and that's all of the aesthetics. But let me know what you guys think. Where would you rank everything? What was your favorite? What was your least favorite? And if you enjoyed like this type of video, definitely let me know. Give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, all of that good stuff. I'm so ecstatic that we're in the Burr months, and I'm so excited to share a bunch of like autumnal videos with you guys. So subscribe if you would like. You can also find me on other parts of the internet. I'm usually lurking on Instagram, TikTok. I have music on Spotify, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.